want to break my silence on a very sensitive issue. And when I say that I want to break my silence, I mean I want to break my silence on video. Because in print, I have constantly spoken up about this particular issue. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been incarcerated for such a long time. And there's been a lot of intrigues, there's been a lot of drama here and there regarding his release. Now, if we are going to tell ourselves the truth, there are a lot of people who literally loathe Nnamdi Kanu's guts. There are a lot of people who feel very offended by his actions, by his attitude, by his character, by the way he talks. Just name them. Everything about the guy irritates you. And there are people, leaders also, who sincerely and genuinely feel that Nnamdi's freedom would upset a lot of things for them. Maybe steal the shine, maybe cause some obstruction, maybe derail their political movement or anything, whatever it is. There are people who have that feeling. There are. In my part of the world. So it leads to a conclusion that most of what we see as efforts at releasing him are mere window dressing. I'm breaking my silence because it has gotten to a point where we need to tell ourselves the truth. Nnamdi Kanu is our own. I have witnessed with my own eyes elements from other regions who were far more destructive or are far more destructive than anything you could ever accuse Nnamdi Kanu of doing. And all that these guys get is just a slap on the wrist. And they get away with it. See, I'm making this video because I want to be frank. I don't want to make emotional statement here. Not. Here's my deal. Rather than keep Nnamdi Kanu incarcerated and locked away in jail, why can't there be a deal reached with him? You get your freedom, you stay quiet, you go and rest, you don't make noise. Even if it's for a season, let that deal be reached. Nnamdi is fiercely free. He hates being caged, but at this point, I think this would fly. Just so he can come out. This man has a family. He has a wife. He has children. Think about the emotional torture, the psychological trauma he goes through every day. All because he insisted that his people should be treated well. We can all argue about his methods and whenever these things come up in discussions, I keep saying to people, point to me one man that is perfect in this world. We all have our own issues. We don't always get it all right. You get some right and you get some wrong. Yes, some things may have been done wrongly, but there's also a lot of positive things that have come out of the movement that he set up. Despite all the efforts to demonize them, to tarnish their image, to brand them as terrorists, and all kinds. When we have terrorists, real life terrorists who don't hide it, staring us in the face every day, killing our people. And we even have Boko Haram members being branded repentant, forgiven, and reintegrated into the society of Nigeria. But Nnamdi Kanu is not worthy of rejoining his family after 4 years of incarceration. And I ask, why? For what? It is becoming a shame on the collective sensibility of all Igbo people all over the world. This thing has gone beyond the limits of tolerance, and we should, as a matter of extreme urgency, do something now. Because the sense of urgency that I feel doesn't come to me just like that. The sense of urgency I feel now always comes to me when something is about to go bad or get worse. If Nnamdi Kanu is not released now, it will not be too long before the story will change. Take my word for it. This is the first time I'm making a video appeal to all the powers that be to release Nnamdi Kanu. It's not a threat. I mean, what can I do? But I'm just telling us that we've got to that point where we have to say whatever it takes. Let it take. Our Southeast governors and our Southeast politicians, there is no way on earth that if you guys decide Nnamdi will be out in the next 72 hours, he won't be out, except if the British government decides to come in and say, hey, we don't want him out. He's our citizen too. And they put their foot down and said it doesn't matter what you guys do. And of course, those are the only ones that you guys fear. And up till this day, I still wonder why a British citizen would be so incarcerated and so terribly treated, ill-treated, and Britain does nothing. That's a topic for another day. But the point is, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu needs to be released. Not tomorrow, not next tomorrow. Now, something is about to go wrong. And if this thing is allowed to go wrong, everyone will get to a point where it will be like, oh gosh, if we had known. May that not be the case. Please, President Bola Tinubu, our politicians in Southeast, whoever is concerned, make it quick. Release Nnamdi Kanu now. And God bless you all for heeding this call.
All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back updates and information. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first. We'll collect them Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. It don't share between the Sultan of Sokoto and the member of the DOS, and also the controversial, very dark man, the social media sensator as it be. Make I carry you go to the full detail of that particular information. Remember that recently a lot of killings has been going on both in the southeastern part of Nigeria, in the middle belt, in the northern part to be, and other places in Nigeria, of which the Sultan of Sokoto has not made any comment because this spying and sending us people to their early grave is related to the Fulanis, and a lot of people are complaining and wanting to know why should it be always the Fulanis. And the Sultan of Sokoto did not deem it important to comment on these atrocities that his people, the Fulanis, are perpetrating, but he deemed it fit to comment. He's worried about social media exposing them. Let's go down to that particular information. I'll also show you the video of Very Dark Man's reply to the Sultan and also to the youth leader of the Arewas. IPOB knocks Sultan of Sokoto. Instead of condemning killer herdsmen, you are worried about social media exposing them. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has condemned the remarks made by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sadiq Abubakar, who described social media in Nigeria as a terrorist organization and called for its criminalization. In a statement released on Thursday by its media and publicity secretary, Comrade Ima Powerful, IPOB described the Sultan's remark as absurd and indicative of a growing panic among the Northerners establishment over the exposure of the violent activities alleged carried out by killer herdsmen. Referencing popular proverbs such as a clear conscience fears no accusation and the wicked flee when no man pursues, IPOB accused the Sultan, regarded as a leading Fulani figure and Islamic spiritual leader, of attempting to silence the voice of victims and whistleblowers who use social media to document and share atrocities committed by herdsmen and extremist factions. Instead of condemning the well-documented killings, kidnapping, and land seizures perpetrated by Fulani terrorists over the past decade, the Sultan appears more concerned with the digital platform exposing these heinous acts, powerfully stated. IPOB further criticized what it described as the failure of both the Sultan and the Nigerian government to call out the Fulani-linked violence, accusing them of manipulating mainstream media to downplay attacks and reframe them as farmer-herders conflict, or act by bandits in an attempt to mislead both the Nigerian populace and the international community. IPOB praised the role of social media in empowering Nigerian youth, facilitating economic opportunities, and providing a platform for marginalized voices. According to IPOB, efforts to censor or criminalize social media are aimed at suppressing dissent and concealing the truth. The Sultan may choose to ignore reality, but both Nigerians and the international community are increasingly aware of the threat posed by Fulani terrorist group. Social media has become a vital tool in unmasking the enemies of peace and humanity, Powerful stated. IPOB therefore warned that any attempt to silence social media would be futile. If the Sultan fears exposure, he should call on the terrorists to disarm. IPOB and other indigenous groups will continue to use every lawful means, including social media, to resist oppression and expose those responsible for insecurity in Nigeria. All right, welcome back, wonderful people. As you be, it looks as if the Sultan is becoming afraid, and those who are behind the act that is going on in the northern part of Nigeria is becoming afraid of being exposed through the means of the social media. Because you know that recently social media is doing a lot, even though there are a lot of propagandas also that are being peddled on the social media space, but social media has more advantage than disadvantage as it is. As it is also, tension rises as 36 cows killed, 42 poisons following Governor Mutan night grazing ban. The Mieti Ala Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria announced that in the Bassa local government area of Plateau State, 36 cows were killed and 42 were poisoned. The incident followed a ban on night grazing issued by Governor Caleb Mutwan in response to recent violence in the state. Yal Idris, the chairman of Makam for Basa local government, provided additional insight indicating that poison was placed on garden eggs and spread across the grazing areas. He urged the Fulani community not to resort to self-justice. We have about 78 cattle grazing in the area. Currently, 36 have been killed, and the remaining 42 are in critical condition. It's uncertain what will happen to them due to the poison garden eggs scattered around. We have informed the GOC 3 Division, and he visited the scene. He urged us not to take the law into our hands and promised to investigate those behind the incident and have them arrested. All right, you can see how hopeless we have become in this country, a country where about 51 persons were died in cold blood, and the GOC was not invited. The governor has not, implemented any means of investigation. But because of the loss of life of cows, common cows, the governor has already implemented investigation. The GOC have already been invited. And I'm still beginning to wonder why cows should be more important than human lives in a nation where humans are supposed to be valued. Of course, you know that the first responsibility of the government is to provide security for life, to provide security and protection of life and properties for the citizens. But as it is, the reverse has become the case in the nation we find ourselves, the nation called Nigeria. All right, let me drop you this video of Very Dark Man and his comment on this particular issue.